I'm Dan Kennedy, and it is a historic day in the race for the White House. President Joe Biden dropping out. It's the first time an incumbent president has dropped out in more than 50 years. Biden now endorsing his Vice President Kamala Harris, but the process to name a Democratic nominee remains murky. ABC's Perry Russom has the latest from Washington.
President Biden dropping out of the race for the White House, endorsing his Vice President Kamala Harris. Harris releasing a statement saying her intention is to earn and win this nomination. Some Democratic lawmakers starting to rally behind Harris with their convention weeks away in Chicago.
As a delegate, I'll be happy to go back to Chicago and support the vice president.
My choice is Vice President Harris.
Kamala Harris, as our Democratic presidential nominee, is going to bring an X factor.
Harris does not automatically become the nominee. Democratic National Committee Chairman Jamie Harrison saying, in short order, the American people will hear from the Democratic Party on next steps and the path forward for the nomination process. Biden dropping out of the race in a statement writing, I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and to focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term.
This decision was selfless and strong. He put the country first.
Senator Chris Coons, a close ally and friend of Biden, tearful on CBS.
This was a very difficult decision, and one that I think reflects the very best of who Joe Biden is.
Even as Biden's candidacy began to unravel at the first presidential debate nearly 1 month ago,
If we finally beat Medicare,
he remained committed on the campaign trail.
I am running and going to win again.
The Republican Party already attacking Harris, releasing this video.
If you ever wondered how Joe Biden could get the border so screwed up, remember, he had help.
President Biden says he will address the nation later this week, still not clear when. He's been at his vacation home in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, recovering from COVID. Perry Russom, ABC News, Washington.
This afternoon's announcement creating shockwaves across the political spectrum. People across the nation are sounding off on President Biden's decision to pull out of the upcoming election. Our Brendan McIntosh spoke with voters here in Hampton Roads. And Brendan, what did you hear from folks tonight?
Well, Dan, there was a lot of mixed opinions here in Hampton Roads. Some people tell me they're glad Biden is stepping aside. Others say they're disappointed. President Joe Biden announced today he's not seeking re-election. Some Hampton Roads voters say they're surprised to hear the news.
I was really kind of upset and disappointed.
I was shocked. I was very shocked because I am a Biden supporter and I really wanted him to continue his run for race for president.
While others say they expected it.
Long overdue for his health.
Not shocked at all that he stepped down.
Several people I spoke to pinned the debate with former President Donald Trump as the turning point for voters and their confidence in Biden's ability to serve a second term.
So I think it was a very good choice for him to step down. If you watch the Trump and Biden debate, he's having a hard time speaking.
If you watched critically, you could see his downturn for years.
With the election just a couple of months away, some voters tell me they think this could give Trump an advantage.
It's going to be kind of hard, but right now, whoever they bring up against Trump is still going to win.
And when it comes to Biden throwing his support behind Vice President Kamala Harris, people have mixed opinions on that too.
I think she's a great candidate.
Definitely think that's a big mistake.
And we're just a few weeks away from the Democratic National Convention. Only time will tell who the Democratic presidential nominee will be. Brendan McIntosh, 13 News Now.
As you can imagine, we are hearing from a lot of lawmakers responding to this announcement tonight as well. Stephanie Johnson joining us in the studio now to share what we're hearing from these lawmakers across Virginia and what they're saying about the president's decision to step aside. Stephanie, what are you hearing?
Yeah, Dan, overall, legislators in Virginia are supporting Biden's decision to exit the presidential race, and lawmakers like Virginia Congresswoman Jennifer McClellan also support Biden's decision to endorse Vice President Kamala Harris.
Democratic lawmakers across Virginia sounded off on social media Sunday after news broke of President Biden stepping down. Virginia Delegate Michael Fagans, State Senator Aaron Rouse, Congressman Bobby Scott, Senator Tim Kaine, and others thanked Biden for his leadership. Meanwhile, Democratic State Senator Mamie Locke wrote in part, the leadership of this party has been so disrespectful to an individual who has done so much for them and this country. Senator Mark Warner also supports the president's decision. Just weeks ago, Warner reportedly attempted to gather a group of Democratic lawmakers to ask the president to step down. Congresswoman Jennifer McClellan, the first black woman to represent Virginia in the U.S. Congress, spoke with our very own Janet Roach Sunday afternoon and shared how she felt about Vice President Kamala Harris's potentially historic run for president.
She will energize our base, and she was a very strong partner with President Biden, and I think she's the best candidate to carry on that legacy and make it her own.
McClellan believes Harris has an advantage over former President Donald Trump.
She's the most qualified person to do the job. I think when people look at the clear contrast between these two candidates, I believe that we will be calling Kamala Harris Madam President very soon.
And Virginia Attorney General Jason Mayorkas blasted Democrats in Washington, D.C. over social media, saying in part, quote, "For years, Washington Democrats knew that Joe Biden was not capable to serve as president, yet they stood with him to hold on to power." Now, you can read more reactions from Virginia politicians by logging on to our website, 13newsnow.com. Stephanie Johnson, 13 News Now. Dan, back to you.
Stephanie, thanks. Kamala Harris is not the official Democratic presidential nominee. That is set to be solidified next month at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago.